So here's what I would do in a general bathroom like this. First, I would go through and dust all the cobwebs in the corners and the light fixtures. I would dust just any hangings on the walls. I would go and dust any shelves. I would dust. Sometimes towel racks can accumulate dust, and so just scouring for any dust on anything. And then second of all, I would start to strip the bathroom. So take any rugs and take them out of the bathroom. Shake them off if you would like, outside of the bathroom or in the bathroom. So then I would spray the shower down with my shower cleaner. I would get the toilet bowl cleaner in the toilet. And then I would start to scrub the shower down. You don't have to do this in the exact order. This is just kind of a general how I like to do it. So I would scrub the shower down completely with my scrubber or even with a cloth, depending on the bathtub. Make sure there is nothing left in the bathtub like hairs or whatever there may be. And then rinse it down and then go back over with a dry cloth just to dry and make sure there's nothing else left in the tub. Close the shower curtain back, and then I start working on the toilet. So I just scrub the toilet. Obviously, I use my disinfectant cleaner, just get all the crevices, every single lid, like everything, and just make sure it's good. Pretty self-explanatory, I think. And then this is the part that always gets the dirtiest, so just really making sure that those are clean, and even the backs and the fronts and under here as well. And then I just go ahead and scrub the toilet, making sure to get under the rim right there, and just give the toilet a flush, and then the toilet's done. If anything like the plunger or the scrub brush containers are dirty, I will just usually wipe those down. It's not on the list, but it's just something that I like to do. So then I like to go back over the light fixtures and just wipe those down really well. I wipe down the mirror and the whole wooden thing around it. Every mirror is going to be different, obviously. Using my vinegar mixture, and I will just make sure there's no fuzzies left on there, making sure there's no streaks. Looking at it from a different angle sometimes helps you see if there are any streaks left. So then I will start with the sink. If there are any like toothpaste marks or anything on the wall, sometimes there are, most of the times there are actually. So I just like to wash that down, and like that's another thing that's not really on the list, but I just like to do just because it only takes a couple seconds and it really makes a difference. So then I just like to scrub the sink down, making sure there's no hairs or anything like that. And then after I do that, I will wipe it down to dry it, making sure I get the disinfectant cleaner on the faucet all the way around it. Right around here always gets pretty dirty, and as you can see, some of this stuff just does not want to come off, but try anyways. Just being really detailed with everything is just key. So then I will just wash down the whole vanity area on the sides as well. If there's any ledges, I like to wipe those down. Light switch covers, I like to wipe those down. The doors are an add-on service, so typically I don't spend too much time on those, but if they are noticeably dirty, I will wipe those down really quick. Baseboards I usually only do as an add-on service, but if it's like a bi-weekly or weekly client, I do like to do the baseboards like for the first time I go there, and then as needed. And then the one-time cleanings usually include the baseboards as well, but those would be all listed in your notes. And then the last thing I do is sweep. For sweeping, this floor actually has a lot of things on it, and on the white tile floors it shows up so much more. So I think someone shaves a lot in here. So I just sweep it all out of the bathroom because I'm just going to come do the floors out here anyways. It's just a lot quicker just for me to sweep it all out. So I do that, and I empty the trash as well. So then I just mop, and then I'll look back over and make sure I didn't miss anything, and then I will return the rugs back on, which I have not done yet. I'm getting ready to do, and then the bathroom's done. Pretty self-explanatory. Okay guys, so every bedroom is very different, but there is not too much that I normally do in the bedroom. So In here, I will dust the ceiling fan. I will just go over the blinds with my duster. I will just make sure to wipe all the surfaces off, like this desk and just everything you see pretty much. Just making sure. Here's a shelf that gets pretty dusty, so I will make sure I move this stuff one by one, just so I don't get confused on where everything was. And I will just go ahead and wipe that down. Anything else that might need dusting, I'll do. This room is very clean, so there's not really too much to do here. Making sure to give attention to the lamps that get pretty dusty. So yeah, then I will go through and sweep and vacuum and mop. And that will pretty much be it in here, guys. That's it. Bedrooms are pretty simple. In bedrooms, we also want to remember to bring the trash out. Again, just for any one-time deep cleanings, if it says to do the doors, or if it's just the move-in, move-out cleans, or regular clients, I do like to wipe the doors down for them as needed. Even if it's not on the list, it's just something that really makes a big difference. Typically make beds or do any like picking up in the bedrooms. Usually that's up to the client to do. If there are things in the way on the floor, obviously I will pick them up. I do not normally make beds unless the client specifically asks me to. Sometimes there will be things for changing the bed left out, which in that case I will just go ahead and do just because they obviously want that done. But that is not something that is typically required, and people usually don't expect that. This client specifically asked if I could, and they ordered that as an add-on service, so I'm going to do that, but usually 90% of the time you do not have to do that. If you can, in the bedrooms, it's important just to vacuum or sweep under the beds and under the furniture if you can get to it. Sometimes you can't with the beds, but you do not need to move furniture except maybe chairs or something. Just try your best to get under them because that's something that clients really expect and like. So living rooms are very similar to bedrooms. Always start with dusting. This one has a lot of stuff to dust, so I just focus on moving one thing at a time on the shelves and just taking microfiber cloth and dusting that. As you can see, this house has a lot of shelves. Ceiling fans, of course, just cobwebs around the corners, and just dusting all the surfaces that you see. Don't forget above the mantle. Wiping down furniture. Usually it is not required to vacuum furniture. If it's really bad and you really want to, you can. That is usually an add-on service. So I'll just dust all the windows. If they do request that they want their windows washed, that will be in your notes. Typically it's not required. Dusting every thing on the wall, all the light fixtures and lamps, of course. And then we just do the floors. And that is it in here. Always make sure you use your list to make sure you've gotten everything. Every room is going to be different, obviously, but that's just basically what we do in a living space. Dining room, obviously, is pretty much the same too. Just all the dusting, the light fixtures, wiping down the table, and the floors is all important. This might seem obvious to some people, but just remember to move the chairs out so you can vacuum under there. And also a good tip to remember is to wipe down the chairs. Sometimes there's crumbs on the chairs, and that's something that sometimes people don't think of, but something that's also very important. Pretty clean, right? Well, we're going to try the eye level test. We're going to get down to eye level, and we're going to see how clean it really is. You can see a bunch of stuff. The camera actually is not picking up everything that I'm seeing, but you can see so much more. So always remember to do the eye level test on all surfaces, tables, and counters. It really helps to make sure you're getting everything and be as detailed as possible. In the kitchen, what I first did is I went and dusted just the cobwebs and the light fixtures, everything on the wall. Just went and wiped down quickly. Sills, just a general dust, shelves, top of the fridge. And then I used my window and glass cleaner to go back and clean the outside of the appliances with a cloth. The inside of the appliances are add-on services and are not a part of the regular cleaning unless specified. So it's just important to get every part of the appliances, the dishwasher, microwave, outside only, and then I go through and I wipe down all the small appliances like the coffee makers, toaster, stuff like that. Stoves are really easy to clean like this one was. This is an electric one, so other times the gas ones are a little bit trickier. You have to take the, I don't really know what they're called, grill plates, I guess, off to clean them, and you gotta wash those as well. And then sometimes when they are really dirty, you have to spray some solution on there and give it some dwell time to kind of do its job and break down all the grime, and go through and scrub that and then wipe it down clean. So it really depends on the cleanliness of the stove and the type of stove as to the method of cleaning. Always vacuum yourself out of the room. So start on the opposite end and work your way out and follow a W formation to create those beautiful lines. On this kind of carpet, I guess you cannot really see the lines, but it's just the quick and efficient way to do it. And on a lot of carpets, you will see the lines, which always makes your work look even more presentable. I work my way from one side of the room to the other. So I start from left to right, and then I also move from top to bottom. So I will clean like the back walls right here, and then I will wipe the counter down, and then I will wipe the cabinets down. So as you can see, I'm moving from top to bottom, just because obviously if you clean something from the top, some of that dirt and stuff like that is going to fall down. So it just makes the most sense to clean like that. So then I'm moving over here. I wipe down the backsplash, counters, cabinets, move around the room, and just keep doing that. And usually I will just clean the window really quick in the kitchen if there is one. Windows isn't something that we always do, not included in our regular cleaning list, but I will just go ahead and do that because it only takes a second. And then the sill. Also, remember to clean under the appliances, under the microwave, under the toaster is very important because there's always going to be some crumbs and such like that. Just moving everything on the counters is really important to getting that really good clean. We always want to do the sink the very last, and I'm pretty sure you guys can guess why. That's because we're going to be using the sink as we're cleaning and then washing your hands, and sometimes depending on the mop you're using, dumping the mop water back in there. So there's no point of cleaning it first and then getting it dirty. So you just want to make sure you do the sink last. And then also in the kitchen, obviously the floors, and wiping down just all the tables and such. And I think that's always use the eye level test. Once again, get down to eye level, look at the counter from different angles, and make sure that you didn't miss anything. Make sure you're moving the rugs before you sweep and mop. I know that might sound like something obvious, but some people just don't think of doing that. So always remember that if you're not sure that if you should do it, and you don't think it'll take very long to finish, just go ahead and do it. It's better to do more than to not do enough. And we're all about making our clients happy. That's not to say do a bunch of add-on services that are going to add a bunch of time onto your cleaning, but those little things really do make a difference. Be respectful of people's homes. I know that also sounds like something that's sort of obvious, but it's important. Don't be moving things around too much. Always put things back where they go. Even if you think that someone might want it somewhere else, just try to keep things where they go. Don't throw things away unless it's very obvious that it's garbage. Be extremely careful with holding things and moving things. Make sure you just put if you're using their vacuum, just put that back. Just overall being respectful of the home and being very, very careful with everything. And I think if you do those things, then people will be very always happy. End your cleaning with a microfiber cloth in hand, walking around the house and just making sure that no dust has settled. It does tend to happen. So you're just going to want to go through and make sure you didn't forget anything, or any more dust hasn't settled, making sure that there's nothing on the floor or nothing you left. Just a general walkthrough to make sure everything is good. Two of the bigger things that you will get is a broom with a dustpan and then a mop. This has the replaceable washable pads in it. You can use just our all-purpose cleaner in the mop, and you'll get at least a couple of the pads that are interchangeable that you can wash between clients. You'll need some either small grocery bags, or I like to reuse grocery bags just to bring with you to put all of your garbage in, mostly just your paper towels that you've used, or to empty other people's garbage in. Those work well also. So you will definitely receive some grocery bags, and feel free to use fiber cloths are very, very important. Those are great for dusting, wiping all surfaces down, really just anything. And I try to use these more than I use the paper towels, just because number one, they work better, and number two, they are reusable, so they work great. To try to park out of people's way if they are home and you see cars that are there. You never know if they have to leave again, and it's really inconvenient and time consuming to have to go out and move your car. So just try to park out of the way as much as you can. It's not really a big deal. It just kind of makes everyone's life a little bit easier. Here is a typical cleaning kit. It's in a bucket, multi-purpose. It can be used, bucket can be used for water or whatever you may need, in addition to carrying your cleaning supplies. Don't be afraid to use your own bags or buckets as well. A duster, of course. This is another pad in addition to the mop pad that's already on the mop. And here is the disinfectant all-purpose cleaner I make. I use it from a concentrated cleaner. It works really, really well, so that's why I use this. It has a lemon scent. I do go back and forth between a couple different ones, but this is my go-to. So that's the disinfectant all-purpose cleaner. I will use that on counters, to clean the toilet, sinks, pretty much everything. And that's also the same cleaner that I put into the mop. So it really is an all-purpose cleaner, and that's why I like it, because you can use it on everything. This is the glass and window and mirror cleaner that I use. I also make this one because it honestly works way better than Windex. When I was using Windex and similar products, the streaks were just endless, and ever since I started making this solution, it just goes a lot better. So this is a mixture. It's 1/3 water, 1/3 vinegar, and 1/3 rubbing alcohol. So very simple, but very effective. I use Lysol toilet bowl cleaners. I go back and forth between a couple different Lysol cleaners, but they all work really well. Some bathroom cleaner. I always use the Clorox disinfecting foaming cleaner. There's a couple different kinds, so sometimes I will use the bleach one, and then other times I just buy the bleach free. They all work pretty much the same. A toilet brush. A lot of people actually don't have them in their bathrooms, and so I think it's important just to carry that. It can be sanitized between clients, but the toilet bowl cleaner I use does kill 99.9% of bacteria. So it will be a little wet after you're done cleaning toilets. So what I like to do is I like to keep it in a grocery bag, and I can just take it in and out of that grocery bag so it's not getting all my other supplies wet. Some gloves, of course, and then just some scrubbies, which these work pretty well. So yeah, that's all. It's a pretty simple kit. When I first started making these kits, I made it a lot more complicated. There were so many more cleaning products, and I realized that once I simplified it, these products just work really well, and just simple is sometimes better and more effective. So that's the cleaning kit. I always provide supplies for my employees, of course, and if there is at any point a time when you do have to purchase something, I will immediately reimburse for that, but that should never really happen. So yeah, if you have any questions on the cleaning kit, just let me know.